metric is in imperial, you're probably going to use fractions more than you're going to use decimals. Okay? So when we do measurements on imperial, your measurement will be 1/16th of an inch is generally what your measurements are too. So imperial system is based on Old English units of measurement derived from the nature and everyday activities. Canada began a transition from the imperial system to SI in 1970. Imperial measurements are used in the U.S. The imperial system is still used in some instances in Canada. From shortest to longest, the basic imperial units for measuring distances are the inch, foot, mile, yard, and mile. Where we primarily use imperial in Canada is on lumber. All right, we still talk a lot about lumber and construction as imperial. 2x4 is 2 inches by 4 inches. All right, so a lot of our measurements, a sheet of plywood is 4 feet by 8 feet. Okay, so we use a lot of the imperial in the construction part of things in Canada still, but we measure our distances in kilometers. We do our measurements in mass in kilograms, even though lots of us talk about how much we get. That's a whole nother ball game, but on how much you weigh. All right, we talk pounds, but we are a metric system country. Okay, so there's only one example, and then I'll read the scales with you. Again, I'm going to go through one more sliding scale for a caliper, and then you've got all day today and tomorrow to do these two sections. Mary and Ling need to determine the area of a room they wish to paint. The room is rectangular with one window and one door. Mary measures the perimeter of the room to be 52 feet and the window to be 1.5 yards by 2 yards. Ling measures the height of the room to be 96 inches and the door is 8 inches by 42 inches. If the walls are to be painted, what is the area to be painted measured in square feet? Okay, so the first thing we kind of want to do is let's just kind of draw ourselves a picture. All right, here's your room. And the perimeter of the room is 52 feet, correct? I think is what it says, yeah? Okay, so all the way around, the perimeter is 52 feet. Now, it doesn't give us the dimensions of it, but we don't actually need the dimensions of it because what we need is just the walls. So we need the area of the walls. Well, the area of the walls are based off of the perimeter and the height of them. Okay? And the height of them is 8 feet. So to get the area of the 4 walls, we take 52 feet, the perimeter, and times it by 8 feet. Now that will include all 4 walls. So that's the first thing that we want to do. 52 feet by 8 feet. Works out to 416 square feet. So if you are not doing the ceiling or the floors, then that's all we need. So now what we need to do is we need to subtract the area of the window because we're not going to paint the window, and then we need to subtract the area of the door. So starting with the window is 1.5 by 2 yards. Thank you. So 1.5 yards by 2 yards. All right, now we need to, what's the issue that we have here? Different units. Okay, so it's going to be easier if we change the units of the window to feet. Okay, how many feet in a yard? 3. So that would make this 4.5 feet, right, by 6 feet. Good so far? Okay, so the area of the window is 4.5 by 6. What's 4.5 by 6?
23, 27.
27, good. 27 feet squared. So far, so good. Okay. Now we need to area the door. The door measures 78 inches by 42 inches. Oops, probably should do that different. Okay, we got to convert that to feet. How do I convert inches to feet?
Divided by 12.
Divide by 12. All right, now what we learned yesterday, and I want you to do it today. Again, the easy way is to divide by 12, but let's look at why. So I have 78 inches. I want to change to feet, inches. So that's how I want to stack it. Again, get used to stacking. Yes, I know it's just easy to divide by 12, but when it gets more complicated, I want to be able to just say, well, stacking's simple when we're doing multiple changes. Okay, so I've got 1 foot to 12 inches. So what's 78 divided by 12? 6.5 feet. And then I have 42 inches. Same thing. Feet, inches, 1, 12. 42 divided by 12. 3.5. Okay, so let's go back to here. That's 6.5 times 3.5. Let's see. Area door. 6.5 times 3.5. What is it? Perfect. So now, the total area I need to paint, 416 minus 27 minus 22.75. Works out to
366.
There you go. Okay. So yesterday we briefly looked at converting all the metrics. Today we're going to look at some of the imperial, and then Thursday we'll look at the crossover, imperial to metric, metric to imperial. Okay? Again, fairly simple section compared to what you just did. So let's take advantage of it. Let's do a good job of it, and let's get our marks up. All right. I need you to look at the question 3B on page 7. Okay, so I said that the majority of the time we work with measuring for imperial, we're going to use fractions, but this one, on the other hand, is not fractions. It is in decimals. So we're going to read that sliding scale of 3B. So what is the first whole unit? What's the largest whole unit? So you're looking at your sliding scale. Look where the 0 is. What's the first whole unit? Where does it fall between?
1 and 2.
No. 3B. 3B.
4.
Where's the 0? Where's the 0 fall?
4.05.
Okay, well, no. All I want is the whole number value first. So it's between 4 and 5, so it's 4 point something. Agreed? Everybody's okay. So the big number is 4. Yes? You see that? Okay. So big number is 4. So I'm going to go 0.000. All right, just like that. Okay. The 10th position. The 10th position is now the smaller number that you see there. So does it get to 1/10?
No.
No. So I have my 10th position is this. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now, looking at the ticks, what does each tick represent on there? This is where it gets complicated. 100th. Okay, it is and it isn't. All right. The reason I say that is this. If you look at it, so I've got 4.0 something, right? Because it's not quite past the 10th position, the first one. So each tick has to be 0.025. And we also get that from the scale, the sliding scale. So it's 0.025. So it looks like it's greater than 0.025, greater than 0.05, which is what Jack said. So the next thing that I got to put in here is this. So each tick represents 0.025 of an inch. So Jack was right up to this point, 4.05. But then I have a little bit more than that. I don't have quite 4.075. So let me explain this a little bit. I think I can do a better job of this. All right. So here's my 4, right? Here's my 1. I've got 3 ticks here. Yes? So this would be 4.1 if I went to here. This is 4.025. This is 4.050. And this is 4.075. That tick. And then another 0.025, and I would get to 1. So I'd have 4.1. We all follow? So the scale is somewhere in here. So it's greater than 0.005, but less than 0.075. Yes? Somewhere in there. Okay. Now I take the bottom scale again, which is all the way up from 0.00 to 0.025. Now I'm going to find which one of the lines, the first line, that lines up directly with the line above it.
Wait, did you say you start at the 0? Okay.
So now I'm looking at the sliding scale and look at each tick on the sliding scale and which one lines up directly with one above it. Anybody want to take a guess at it?
First one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's the first tick. So that tick represents this. So that is actually, those ticks on the sliding scale are now 1/1000th of an inch. Okay. So what is the actual measurement that guy is giving us? .051 inches. Okay, so let's go back to it again. The whole number is that guy right there, the big guy. The 10th position is that guy right there. So if it's anything past there, it would be 4.1 something. All right? Each of these 3 ticks represents 0.025, so 25 1,000ths. 0.025, 0.05, 0.075. So it's greater than 4.07. It's greater than 4.05. So I add the 0.05 in here because that's one of these. Had it been right here, this would have been 0.025. Had it been right here, it would have been 0.075. Okay? And then it fell right here. And then the first tick was this guy, which is 1/1000th of a measurement. So 4.051. Okay. Like I said, you're going to have one scale to read. So you just need to practice a couple of them. There'll be a couple more in your review, your chapter review. There's one more in the chapter review is all I see. So then there's a couple on the cumulative review, which we won't get to, but you can use it for the scale readings. And then when I give you a pre-test, you'll have a couple more on the pre-test. So you'll be able to practice these. Okay? That's all I have. I need you to finish 1-1-1-2 for Thursday. Got all day, the rest of today and tomorrow, all day tomorrow to do it. Got it? Okay. Go to work.